Stellar Blade. Now, you may be asking, I've never talked about this game on my stream. Never talked about it on my stream. Why? Well, one is I'm not a big fan of like action combo games, Devil May Cry, stuff like that. Not my biggest thing. I mean, they're okay, but what can I say? So, it is a game that came out on PS5 not too long ago. And it did really, really well. Let's display full screen, skadoosh. And it did really, really well. And then, so they finally released it on PC, and it is the biggest PlayStation 5 to Steam release ever. It beat out everybody. Spider-Man, fucking all of them, dude. Well, Spider-Man was PS5 first, right? Yeah. Like any game that came out on PS5 and then and then came out on Steam later, it absolutely destroyed the fuck out of it. Absolutely. And as you can see, this game is very popular with the main demographic that plays video games. That would be young men. Or, well, I should say men. Because I'm not going to lie to you. If I weren't married and had kids, I probably would have at least tried the game. Because, yeah. One of the main, I don't play games like this anymore. If it's literally just all about titillation, mainly for my wife thing, you know. So I've talked about that before. We don't really need to get into it here. But yes, it is people have been calling it a gooner game. You could call it a gooner game all you want. Look at that ass, dude. I mean, they're really not beaten. They're like even the ones they chose for Steam, they only chose like 3 shots that were really that bad, right? Like, look at these. Most of these are really like, wow, that's cool. Look at this. Ooh. But they're not beating the accusations. And one of the reasons that I think it's exploded is because this game was designed for the love of games, right? This game is made for you. That's what this game screams. This game was made for Tommy when he was 12, right? When I was 15, when I was 16, when I was 21. This is the game that was made for me. You know what I mean? It screams that. Even though I don't play these types of games most of the time, and like I did back then, obviously, because they were far more prevalent. And most of the time, I don't play like the style either. But again, if all my friends are playing this and we're all like, oh, look at her titties, I would have probably at least tried it, right? And watched a considerable amount of gameplay of it. And one of the funny things is that beating the game allows you to unlock, or doing things in the game allows you to unlock outfits, which allows you to make her look even more titillating. And because it's a PC game, now there are mods. That's right. So it's going to get even crazier. I mean, I would imagine there's going to be full nudity for everybody. There's going to be all kinds of crazy shit. And this is what gamers want. I want you to look at this. 10,000 user reviews, overwhelmingly positive. Not a single negative review on the first page. Are there any reviews? 712 negative reviews. I give it a B minus. B minus. So you don't recommend the game, but you gave it a B minus. That's like, B minus is like what, 85? Right? Out of 100? Like, that's pretty good. That's not bad. And you don't recommend it because it's not bad. Started someone this stream, but I couldn't ignore how restricted combat feels. Might get better as the game progresses. Something about the movement, dodge, and parry mechanics just don't sit right. Fair enough. It was amazing. The problem is that I feel the controls and the responsiveness of the character sucks. Fair enough. The game has DRM. Okay, that's why you don't recommend it. So, graphics rendering problems. So apparently there are people having issues with the game, which is fine, but overwhelmingly positive. 10,000 reviews. Now, of course, many of these dudes are just gooners. But what was I saying about, you know, I felt like this was a game that was made for Tommy when I was 12 or when I was 15 or 16 or 21. Do you see that ass? Do you see that ass? That's why. Seriously. And it's really funny I've made several videos about this kind of thing where I talk about let's do this. Oh, I can't do it. Okay. Wait. So I've and look, all-time peak is 183,000 and players right now is 142. So it's up and down. So it's been pretty good. It's been pretty consistent, which is really funny considering that so many people, this was a very popular game on PlayStation as well. I wonder how many of them now own it on both. I wonder how many are double dippers. Like, did they just double dip? Did they just double dip so that they could... Did they just double dip so they could get mods and goon even harder? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think it also speaks to something else, right? This game, when I say this game is made for me, and then I point out and then I say, look at her ass, it's because I'm a man. And it's because when I play games, I want to be entertained. I want to be titillated. This, like, even though this is not going to make my pee-pee hard, it's still interesting to see. And I like it. And video games, you can absolutely make a video game where every character is ugly. But that has to be the point of the game. There has to be some reason for that to be the case. Because by default, humans want to see beautiful people. This is why people wear makeup when they do stage acting or anything else. You want to look as good as possible. Oh, let me go ahead. I got another asshole to ban. Excuse me for a second. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Aganab, greetings and salutations. Once again, the hotel is opened up and I am visiting. What's up, buddy? How you doing? We're just talking about Stellar Blade, man. And how it has blown the fuck up, my friend. How it's blown the fuck up. And it's one of these things. It's like this game screams to men in general, and especially young men. This game was made for you. I'm not sure that's in Stellar Blade. It doesn't look like it's in Stellar Blade. This game was made for you. This game was made to entertain you. This game was made to titillate you. This game was made for you by people like you who want to make things for you. And you got to understand that how many games like this that have this quality, that have, you know, the hype behind it, how many games like this actually exist in our ecosystem? How many? It's way too hot here. I really don't like summer. My house is always 72 degrees, and I have to wear winter clothes to stay warm because of the moving air. So anyway, so I feel you just from the other direction. So if you like, I could grab your ass and have a good time. How about that? Anywho, so yeah, it's like I said, this, like, what other game really does this? We had, what was that game? It was that beach volleyball game, right? Where it was all about the jiggle physics, right? There's that game. And there's a few others that are like this. And you could say, oh, we got those gotcha games and they're all, you know, they're gooner games all over the place. Yes. But when it comes to like the AAA gaming industry, when it comes to games that are made for like a Western / American specifically audience that are made by the developer, those types of developers, what do you have to choose from? It's like Gotcha Slop that is basically meant to like drain your bank account while it shows fake boobs bouncing in your face. There aren't that many games that are standalone games by themselves that are made like this, that are made in this way, that aren't straight up just porn games, right? Here in Germany, ACs aren't all that common. I heard that. Or maybe that's just my family. We suffer in silence. It is what it is, man. But I mean, like, how hot does it really get there? Question. I mean, like, I know what it's like to not have AC. When I was a kid, we didn't have AC in my house. And so yeah, I had my bedrooms were upstairs. We had a really big house, and I was an only child. So yes, it was 100 plus degrees at night in my bedroom, but it was still my bedroom. And then and then my mom bought a house with HVAC, and here we are. I don't know, man. It's like like y'all say it's not common over there, and it's like, man, that's because you don't have summers like you do here. Just like, yeah, I don't think most Europeans know how bad the heat can get in the South, like in Texas and Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Arizona, New Mexico. Like I don't think California gets much of it, except in the deserts, obviously. But yeah, in the South, dude, it's brutal, dude. Florida, it's a little bit better because you got the ocean and stuff, you know. So if you're in shade, it's not too bad. It's still hot as fuck, but you know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, it has a camera mode. It's great, right? I will say though, one of the games that did do this fairly well was Cyberpunk 2077, but that feels more like they did it more because it was part of the scenery. You know, it was actually part of how the world is supposed to look, where everything is hypersexualized. But yeah, there aren't too many offers for games like this, for games that feel like men in general and actual gamers are the actual target audience. And most of the games that are like that are like indie games, usually AA games, stuff like that. And it's because they can't bullshit with all this gay ass political nonsense, right? They can't jerk themselves off for 10 years, wasting billions of dollars making games that flop after flop after flop. They can't do that. They got to make games that actually, you know, sell so they can make money and stay fed. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it was because this is the future of games. And eventually all of the AAA slop some of it will still be slop. Of course it will. You're never going to get rid of AAA slop. But at least the AAA slop will have nice titties and asses in it. We can only hope, right? We can only hope. And it'll be a lot less gay. It still needs to be a little gay. Come on. We got to admit, you know, representation is important. Every game should be a little gay in some way. But it doesn't have to be that fucking gay, okay? I was in Egypt 16 years ago, spent most of the 2 weeks in a hotel room. I bet you did. The funny thing here is that the heat is wet. It's wet heat. So it is oppressive. When you walk outside, it feels like what's the best way to... It's like you're walking through a wall of water. That's what it feels like. And the funny thing is that I think it was last year, the UV index got so high that we actually had dry heat in Tennessee for like one of the first times in my lifetime, where it was like over 100 degrees and there was like no humidity. I mean, there was humidity in the atmosphere because this is Tennessee. It's not going to go away. But it wasn't like 85% plus. You know what I mean? It was absolutely insane. Do you remember stepping out of the comfortable airplane? The heat hit you like a punch in the face? Yep, it does. Yes, sir. So yeah, I really hope they continue to have more success. I'm glad everybody's enjoying the game. And I hope this is like just one more, you know, ring on the doorbell of devs that this is where you go. Fan service is something you should be doing. Yes, making Miranda's ass in Mass Effect 2 part of the scenery and using those titillating assets was absolutely cinema. And you should not stop doing it. Do you remember that they censored Miranda's ass in the new version, the remastered version of the game. So Mass Effect 2, there's a character named Miranda. She is genetically engineered to be as attractive as humanly possible to human males. As a literally a weapon. As part of her tool set, as it were. And so a lot of times when you do interviews with her, when you do character moments with her, the camera will linger on her butt, on her tits, you know, on the frame of her face that juxtaposes her tits, and like from very, very titillating angles as well, which makes the game interesting because it does it for other characters in other ways as well. But for Miranda, she is the sexualized character for that reason. To remove Miranda's ass also made a mod to bring it back for the remaster. Exactly, because the point of it is to let people play the way they want. And I feel, you know, I love the fact that guy did that. He made a mod. So there was a guy that made a mod to basically make it to where it wouldn't linger on Miranda's ass like it did a lot of times. And then when the remaster came out and they made that default to the game, he made a mod that brought Miranda's ass back, because the point was not to censor the ass for everyone. The point was allow the people who didn't want to look at her ass to not have to look at it, and for the people who did want to be able to. It's like that, my friends, is what you call freedom. I think that guy's a true neutral. Yeah. But I mean, you say that, but that's how I feel, even though I prefer the ass, right? I prefer the ass, even with all the stuff with my modern day wife and stuff. As long as it's not too bad, it's not a big deal, right? If I'm like gooning over it and shit, that would be a problem. If it does the same thing that porn does, then it's a problem. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But like for me, I want the ass in the game. I want more Stellar Blade games, right? Right? Like, look at this shit. It's insane, the amount of bullshit that you can do with this. So you can see why it's so popular. And here's the thing. You don't have to go full goon to get this kind of popularity. You just have to not be an ideological idiot and make all of your females look ugly. It is the dumbest shit in the world when we say we don't like ugly characters, and then they show some jacked out dude who's got a really fucked up face, and it's like, you don't know what makes men attractive. That, like, you're basically just telling us you have no clue what makes men attractive to the general population. Zero clue. Nada. Because the face is important, but you can have a sexy, attractive character that is not very sexy in the face, that he can have like scars and burn marks all over his fucking face and still be a sexy hardcore dude, and most people find him attractive, right? That is a thing. You can do that, but with women it's a lot harder. But and not only that, like being an Adonis is literally the epitome of what every woman, almost what every woman wants, and what almost what every dude wants to be, right? It's like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, right? Where you're not like overly muscular, but you're extremely fit and very, very active and cut and thin-ish, right? That's the thing for most women anyway. But the thing about it is that men and women are different in these aspects. Men, the main demographic of video games, want physical appearance over almost anything else. Anything else. This bitch could sacrifice children to Moloch, and there are fucking dudes that will be like, I can fix her, bro. I can fix her. Just based on them titties alone. I actually think my wife's are bigger. Can't really tell. Not that from that one, it definitely looks like, but this one, that one looks like it's like a breast increase mod. I can't tell. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is how my ADHD gets me running off into tangents. Huh? So yeah, like I said, I hope this people take away what they need from this. Is that if you're going to make video games for gamers, then you need to make video games for gamers. If you make video games that gamers would play, but you're making it for, the modern audience, then your game is not going to sell as well. It's not going to do as well. Because the modern audience doesn't play video games like gamers do. It's one of the most obvious things. It's like if you have an audience, you have to pander to that audience. If you don't want that audience, that's fine, but don't get mad when your business falls apart because you abandon your audience and the audience you wanted doesn't want to buy your shit. It's one of these things, man. It's like I've been a gamer all my life. Ever since I got a Nintendo. The original Nintendo in 1989? 1989? 1990, that was when it was. Yep, 1990. That's when I got my Nintendo. For Christmas, while my mom was serving in Desert Storm. And people like me who game are the vast majority of people who have the moniker of gamer are men. There are women, but the vast majority are men. And what we want is very different from what modern AAA gaming studios are putting out. Some of them are doing pretty good, some of them not.